Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to our presentation on project management assignment. My name is Muhammad Abdi Hafow. My colleague Faiza Yussuf will also be co-presenting. Let me start with the introduction part. The purpose of this assignment is to provide students with the practical skills and theoretical concept of project management, body of knowledge they need to manage a project. In this short presentation, it's composed of a brief description of project background. We also have a literature review, project data, and a well-documented definition of a project cost management. We also have cost control techniques used for the project. We also talk about work breakdown structure, critical path method, project organization structure, and strategy for managing the project during the COVID-19 pandemic. And finally, a conclusion which summarizes the recommendations for the assignment. My colleague Faiza will be presenting in the next slide. Faiza, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone. And we picked up since it's needed to practice the skills that we learned in the course. We picked up a project wash in Galmudug, especially Arad district. And in 2021, Somalia faces significant humanitarian challenge, especially in water and water and hygiene, sanitation and hygiene. Estimated 5.9 million people are expected to need humanitarian assistance, as mentioned Food Security National Analysis Unit. But over the last 10 years, access and use of drinking water and sanitation has significantly increased in Somalia. And BDA group, BDA, that Peace and Development Action Group, would like to support drought affected communities in Arab and Galmudug district below to overcome the stress due to lack of safe and water services are the following.
Next slide.
Provision safe water to 21,343 crisis affected men, women, and children. But capacity building training of 12 wash communities and 24 well operators, and also construction, so IDB readiness and new IDB in Arad district. Also, hygiene promotion campaigns focusing on hand washing with soap and 1,000 hygiene kits distribution, including female-specific hygiene. Capacity building training to 10 community hygiene promote the better practices of good hygiene and protection. Also, next slide. We picked up. We are talking here some literature, especially first we start by definition of project. Project to attempt and second to create unique product, service, or outcome. Like this, like we are doing, we are making a project, but the result will be and the product will be a water well and water clean water. Also, what project management? Project management is using some skills to produce that product that meets the expectation of the stakeholders. So what's literature review? Literature, also we are talking about in literature review, tribal constraints. That's very important thing. If you meet the tribal constraints of the project, means your project will be successful. So the project, in the basis of undertaking the project, providing direction of framing project through tribal constraints, same various interpretation. Literature shows some general agreement of the project scope, cost, and time. These three are tribal constraints of the project. Finally, I want to talk about a project charter. Project charter is a document, an internal document, signed by the top management, authorizing the project manager to begin the work. Means the project charter gives authority to the project manager to start the project and use the internal resources of the project of the organization. And the purpose of the project charter is to provide understanding of the project, and project charter is done in the planning phase of the project. The purpose of the project is to provide understanding of the project. The reasoning is being included by description. Also, there are some that included in the project. That statement of work, WBS, all of things are in the project chapter, scope management. And that's all I want to to hand over my colleague Hamid.
Yeah, thank you, Faiza. Yeah, in every organization's aim for their projects to be successful and to meet client expectations. In line with this, cost project management is one of the key and important issues that a project manager needs to be careful. For a project to be successful, it has to deliver on the required and scope. And again, its execution quality is of a highest standard. Quality is number one in things that a project manager needs to consider. Second is it's completed within schedule and it's completed within budget. That's what project cost management is all about. And by implementing efficient cost management practice, project managers can set clear expectations with stakeholders. They can also control scope creep due to transparencies. They can also track progress and respond with corrective actions at a quick pace. They can also maintain expected margin. And finally, they need to generate data to benchmark. Data is very important in the 21st century in terms of decision making. And the other thing we need to talk about is work breakdown structure. As usually they say, WBS is a visual and logical and deliverable oriented the construction of a project. It's helpful diagram for project managers because it allows them to work backward from the final deliverables. And one example of a work breakdown is usually used is, which is very popular, is the tree structure view. It presents an easy to understand view into WBS. We also have critical path method. In project management, the critical path is the longest sequence of tasks that must be completed to successfully conclude a project. And the tasks on the critical path are known as critical activities, like tasks. Which one comes first before another activity is being done? By identifying the critical path, you can determine the total duration of a project. Yeah. And this is an example of our critical path chart for this project. In the first place, we are saying the first activity we'll be doing is community consultative meeting. Next is recruitment of staff, which is very important. The human resource part of the project is very crucial. Then the other thing is project kickoff meeting, selection of community hygiene promoters. You go down until we reach in assets handover to the community. Since this is a wash project, in hand offering of the assets, that's the last part of the project. We also have a view critical path from the start to the end in terms of durations. The alphabetical order is in terms of example, A is the first activity. It will take 2 days. So it goes until we reach the finishing line. Our organizational structure is will be headed by another project director, the security coordinator. We also have this line, we also have wash project coordinator, M&E manager, operations until you go down this section, we have project engineer. Yeah, this will be the human resource that will be need and they will be working in this structure. And since we are in a situation of pandemic COVID-19, we came up with a strategy to manage the project successfully. Number one is personal measures that reduce the risk of person-to-person transmission of COVID-19 is being taken care. And one of the things that we will do is hand washing, social distancing, respiratory etiquette. And we will also do community mobilization to minimize non-essential contacts between individuals, such as the suspension of mass gatherings. And we'll also have in the project staff will take the role of community mobilization to limit unnecessary person-to-person. And finally, the conclusion of this assignment is project managers need to adopt and focus on the new ways of managing their traditional, tried and true project management process to meet this changing environment. The fact is that the environment in which we work has totally changed, especially the last 2 years with the coming of COVID-19, with the government restriction, all this. So for a project manager, you need to be equipped with the change management techniques. And finally, today's project managers must master new technology-based system. Like today, we are recording a video with Zoom. In some years back, it never existed. So for you, a project manager, you need to embrace change. Thank you. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you.